Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PipeBomb Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am the Dank, and I am your host, and this is the very first installment, the inaugural episode of the PipeBomb Pro Wrestling Podcast. I know you're probably thinking, dude, it's like 2012, you're a little late to the Pro Wrestling Podcast party. I know. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've been a fan of wrestling for over 20 years. I'm a voiceover recording artist by profession, and I spend the majority of my time in front of a microphone during the week, so I figured it was time. Let's put two and two together, use my passion for pro wrestling, the fact that I'm always in front of a microphone anyway, and just get this done. What's the aim of this podcast? Well, to talk wrestling, to interact with fellow fans of wrestling, to review, to discuss, to predict, to rant, everything. I'd love to have some guests and post breaking news, all that kind of stuff. Really, none of my friends are real passionate wrestling fans. So I want to, just interact with you guys and talk about wrestling and have some guests and just really make this a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'm excited for what's going to come in the future. Now, just some quick background info on me, my background in wrestling, etc. I'm not a former writer. I'm not a former booker. I am involved in the entertainment industry as a performer, being in front of an audience, etc. So I feel like I'm able to look at things from a bit of a different perspective than the average fan, which I think is very important to be successful with these types of podcasts. Having a unique perspective and an unbiased look at the business and just telling it like it is. I mean, that's the reason behind the word pipe bomb. Everybody that's a wrestling fan understands what the word pipe bomb means. And it's just an honest, straightforward, no bullshit. I'm going to tell it like it is. If I like something, I'm going to say it. If I don't like something, I'm going to say it. I'm not one of these podcast guys, and there's too many of them, that use this medium as a way to just whine all the time. I mean, not everything in the world of pro wrestling, and more specifically WWE, that's going to be the main attraction of this podcast is going to be WWE. And not everything is perfect. We know that. I'm not one of these guys who's just going to bash for the sake of bashing. If something's bad, yeah, I'll talk about it, and I'll talk about how bad it is. But when something's great, you're going to hear about that too. I'm not going to bullshit. I'm not going to say something's great when it's not. But at the same time, I'm not going to, just shit on pro wrestling and act like I'm not a fan of it and act like, I'm the almighty knower of what should be happening. I'm going to give you my opinions. I'm going to give you what I think about it, and you can take it or leave it, And the same thing with you. I invite you to leave your comments and leave your feedback, and we'll go back and forth. That's the great thing about pro wrestling, is that everybody has a different point of view. Everybody has a different vision of what they would like it to be. But sometimes we got to sit back and just accept what it is. And what I like to do is discuss what it is, discuss what I might do, discuss what I think should be done differently, and discuss what I love, which is pro wrestling. So that's it for now. No more of these long intros in future episodes. I just wanted to give you some background on me. So let's jump into this very first episode. The number one thing I want to talk about is something that broke recently, and it's actually very, very big news, is that starting in June, after Monday Night Raw's 1,000th episode, congratulations, by the way, on 1,000 episodes. That's crazy. From now on, after that, starting in June, Monday Night Raw is going to be 3 hours every week. Think about that. 3 hours every week. That's pretty insane when you think about it. I'm not really sure that this is the greatest idea, and I'm going to tell you why. Like I said, I've been a fan for a very, very long time. Sometimes I find it hard making it through the 2 hours that's already there. There's a lot of filler material. You really don't get a whole lot of consistent, good product throughout the 2 hours. Now you push it to 3 hours, and just the first impression is like, okay, well, how are you going to fill that? How are you going to take those empty areas and fill them in now that you have an extra hour? Is there going to be more wrestling? Everybody's saying, oh, it's going to be more interactive. The first hour is going to be very interactive. Anytime I hear WWE use the word interactive, the only thing I think of is there's just going to be a shitload of Twitter graphics on the screen every 5 seconds, because they love their Twitter. But I don't know. It's not that I necessarily think it's the worst idea in the world. It can work. It can be good. But when you think about the 3 hour episodes that have already happened. The majority of the 3-hour episodes that happened in the past are themed episodes. You know, the Thanksgiving episodes and the old school Raw episodes and stuff. And those have a tendency, just being honest, to be kind of crappy sometimes, honestly. So as a fan, I'm a bit concerned as to how they're going to pull off the 3-hour time slot. How long is it going to last for? What are they going to add to the product that isn't there now that's going to bring in new viewers? Because I'm going to assume that that's their main tactic. They want to bring in new people. They're not going to push it to 3 hours and just keep everything as is. There are going to be some changes. I would hope and I would think that they're going to bring some changes in. I'm just trying to figure out what those changes are going to be. Is this going to be a good move for the WWE? I think it could be. It could be, but it also could fail miserably. The ratings have not been the greatest as of late, and this could really, really either sink or swim. It's teetering on that fence. It's not going to be somewhat successful, and it's not going to somewhat suck. It's either going to be horrible, or it's going to be fantastic for them. So I guess we just got to see how it goes. But that's pretty huge news. The other thing we got to talk about is tonight is Over the Limit 2012, and I guess one of the things that I'm going to enjoy doing on this podcast is dropping some predictions. So let me pull up this match list and let's drop some predictions real quick. All right, let's start off with the pre-show match: Zack Ryder versus Kane. Where to even begin with this? I feel bad for Zack Ryder. I'll just say that flat out. He worked his ass off to get these fans behind him and to get people like me behind him. And, the ball was dropped. The ball was absolutely dropped. He's not the best in-ring performer, okay, but, he made himself. He put that YouTube show out and he made himself, and it's just the love triangle with Eve and Cena, and then Kane comes into the picture, and that whole few months of that entire whatever that was, debacle is the best word I can think of. It was disappointing. It was disappointing, and now I guess they're trying to rekindle the Zack Ryder and Kane match. Kane really hasn't, in my opinion, been booked that great recently either. He came back with the mask, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" Old Kane is back, and then he just cut these hour-long promos, and then got beat by Cena, and then now he's just Kane again. And I feel bad for him too, honestly, because I would have loved to see him come back and just be a complete monster, kind of like Mark Henry was for a while, and just taking people out and just dominating. But unfortunately, that's not the way that things work out all the time. I'm going to say that there's really no way that Zack Ryder is going over in this match. I don't see that at all. I think Kane's going to take it, and hopefully this will be the end of the whole Kane-Zack Ryder thing. I don't think this really has the legs to go anywhere, this feud between them. I'd like to see Zack Ryder get a little more... I can't say another push because he already got a pretty huge push, but then it was backed off. I don't know. What can you do with Zack Ryder at this point? It's like he's in a weird spot where fans kind of want to see him again, but it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be the same. I think they need to think of a way to really bring him back in the forefront and give him something good, give him something that the fans can latch onto and say, okay, this is why we like Zack Ryder, because this is how he acts and this is his personality. His personality is what sold us. It's not necessarily his ring work. It's not his look. It's how he presented himself on his YouTube show and created such a fan base and such a following. And it's a shame to kind of see that go to the wayside. But unfortunately, I see Kane going over in that one. Layla versus Beth, Divas Championship on the line. I see a few things happening here. Either Layla's going to go over because I think that she is a good flag bearer for the Divas division. She was an ambassador before she got injured. She did a lot of appearances, a lot of all those Make-A-Wish Foundation things. She was really involved in all the video, and all the what's the word I'm looking for, and all the video packages. When they'd show the wrestlers going to Afghanistan for tribute to the troops, and like I said, the Make-A-Wish stuff. She's a good ambassador for the Divas. So I think for that reason, mainly, they would keep the title on her. But, of course, everybody's talking about the whole Karma thing. When's Karma going to return? And that can play into it. I think it was a better opportunity to do it at the last pay-per-view which they didn't because it leaked onto the internet. Everybody heard that Karma was going to come out and do some kind of thing, but then they switched to Layla at the last second. I don't know. Don't ask me. don't ask me. Karma needs to get back into the Divas division because I think that she can really bring some excitement back. I would be excited for a Divas match if Karma was coming down because I'd be like, okay, she's about to whoop somebody's ass. So that's a great way to get the people back on the side of the Divas division because the Divas matches are filler matches now. They really are. That's when people in the arena go to the bathroom. And if you want people to pay more attention to your Divas division, give them something unique. Karma is that unique thing. But I think Layla's going to go over. I wouldn't count on a Karma appearance. It's coming soon. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it'd be the right way to do it at this pay-per-view, though. What's next? Kofi and R-Truth versus Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler for the Tag Team Championships. And you can hear me just getting upset about this. First off, Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler, okay, they're good workers as a tag team. But Dolph Ziggler is the best worker in the business right now. Dolph Ziggler is the next Shawn Michaels. Dolph Ziggler is the friggin' man. I know I said I'm going to be unbiased, and I am being unbiased. This is my opinion. This is what I think from what I see. He is the shit. He works his ass off. Every single match of his is incredible. Whether he's going up against Brodus Clay, from his matches against Cena, anybody he gets in the ring with. His stuff with Kofi when they were going for the Intercontinental title, amazing stuff. Ziggler needs to be on his own showing off. They call him to show off. That's his whole spiel. Get his ass by himself and let him show off. Maybe he doesn't get the best reactions right now, but that's because you're putting him with Jack Swagger. Honestly, Jack Swagger hasn't been doing it for me for a while. They put the World Heavyweight Championship on him. Didn't really work out. Didn't really do anything for him. And he's kind of been coasting ever since. And I can appreciate the tag team of Ziggler and Swagger, but at the same time, Ziggler is there. Just he needs to be pushed to the moon, honestly. You want to talk about creating young future stars, you need to look no further than Dolph Ziggler. Kofi and R-Truth, that's a cool tag team. I mean, R-Truth is always good for a laugh every now and then. And poor Kofi being put in these random tag teams. First it was him and Evan, and then Evan got hurt, and he got suspended, I should say, and then he got hurt. And him and R-Truth, okay, I see it. It works. I'm sure it'll be a good match. I'm gonna call it, since this is the prediction segment, I'm gonna call it Kofi and R-Truth retain. That's what I'm gonna say. I can see Ziggler and Swagger taking the titles maybe in the near future, maybe even the next night on Raw. But I don't really see them taking it at the pay-per-view. I don't really see that happening. I don't think that they've been strongly established as a winning tag team yet. They're getting there. But as I said, again, if it was up to me, man, Ziggler would be on his own, showing off, in a number one contenders match. That's where he would be. Next, World Heavyweight Championship match. I'm actually very, very looking forward to this match. Sheamus, Del Rio, Jericho, Orton. That's going to be a good match. That's going to be a very, 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 very good match. I'm going to say either Del Rio or Orton's going to take it, and I'll tell you why. I like the contrast with Sheamus and Randy Orton, the two top names on SmackDown right now, going at it. I think fans really appreciate that. They sometimes fans like being split. They like saying, "Oh my God, I love them both. Who am I supposed to cheer for?" I think that creates a really nice dynamic, and I can see the Sheamus and Orton feud actually starting and being pretty cool and lasting for a while. So for that reason, I think Orton would take it. Setting up for a Sheamus and Orton feud going forward. They might eventually turn Randy back. Who knows? But at this point, people kind of just love Randy for who he is, even though he is kind of a badass and he has those heel qualities. So maybe they won't turn him, maybe they will turn him, but I see a Sheamus and Orton feud going forward. I'm going to say Orton takes it in a damn good match. Speaking of damn good matches, CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. I mean, I don't even gotta say shit about this match. This is gonna be an incredible match. Title on the line. If this does not go on last, oh my Jesus Lord, I just got a heart attack thinking about that. If this match does not go on last, whoa, you're highlighting maybe the biggest problem in the company right now. If this match does not go on last, you're saying we don't care about the WWE title. And you, as the fan, shouldn't care about the WWE title. You should care about John Cena going against someone who works on the board of directors, someone who's a backstage, who works for the corporate board. Like, stop that. There's no reason for that. I'm getting mad. It hasn't even happened yet. I'm sorry. Like, Punk and Bryan needs to go on last. It has to go on last. It's the WWE title. It's two of the best wrestlers in the world. Put that on last. And give them 30. Give them at least 30. Maybe I'd love to see 40, but who knows how they're gonna do that. It's tough. That one's tough to call. I mean, Daniel Bryan's been so hot recently, and he's just absolutely on fire. And so is Punk. Punk's the top guy, so that could really go either way. I do see Daniel Bryan taking the win, though. I think AJ may get involved in some way, shape, or form. Remember, Punk has had the title since SummerSlam, so it's been a long time, and he hasn't lost. I think Daniel Bryan will be the first one to give him his loss, and this feud better last. Speaking of SummerSlam, this feud better last until SummerSlam, at least. This feud with them two, oh my God. It books itself. It absolutely books itself. Two guys who came from the same place, scratched and clawed their way to the top. They were both the champions heading into WrestleMania. These two are incredible. There's no reason why they shouldn't have at least 30 minutes. There's no reason why it shouldn't be the main event. And there's no reason why this feud shouldn't continue for months to come, to be honest. Last but not least, John Cena versus John Laurinaitis. Obviously, Laurinaitis isn't going anywhere. So he's going to win somehow. I'm thinking, obviously, you just fired the Big Show. And the same night that you fire the Big Show, you make the stipulation about, if anybody is going to interfere, you're going to get fired. Like, you pretty much just said that the Big Show's going to interfere. Like, you pretty much just said that blatantly. There's no reason you couldn't fire the Big Show the week before, so that it's not really at the forefront of people's minds. I think everybody said the same thing. Everybody looked at each other and said, okay, well, obviously then the Big Show's going to interfere because he just got fired. And, he's mad at Laurinaitis. He's going to interfere. The thing with that, though, is Big Show's going to interfere. In my opinion, this is what I think is going to happen. Big Show's going to interfere, but he's going to help Johnny Laurinaitis, to get his job back. He's gonna hit the ring, and people will be like, yeah, he's about to punch out Laurinaitis, and then boom, he's going to knock Cena out. And then Johnny's going to get the win. Big Show gets his job back. Life goes on. That's how I see it happening. Some people have said Lesnar might interfere, but I think that'd be a really, really bad move to waste a date of Lesnar's limited dates on just an interference. I think that'd be a waste of a Lesnar appearance. I think Lesnar might be gone for a little bit longer. I think they should kind of keep him. I don't really know where that thing is going. Don't ask me. I could tell you how I'd like it to go, but we'll save that for a future episode. So I think Laurinaitis is going to take the win, obviously, and that'll be that. And hopefully that does not close the pay-per-view. That's all I got to say. I'm really just wishing that they do the right thing, put the title match at the end, and let that be that. I'm sure that's only, 5 matches? 5-6 matches? I'm sure Cody Rhodes and Santino will be thrown in there, unfortunately. Cody Rhodes, he's another one. He's another one that should be fighting the top tier guys right now. Cody is probably just second to Dolph as the best ring worker in the business right now. I'm loving what Cody's doing. He came such a long way from Legacy and all that, and now he's the Intercontinental Champion. He's done so good for himself, and I see why they'd put him with Santino, because for whatever reason, Santino is so over anywhere he goes. He's like, people just go crazy for him. And it's going to be a nice dynamic for Cody's heel character. But I don't know. He's not taken seriously. That's the only thing, is Santino's not really taken seriously. And Cody's the kind of person that his matches should be taken seriously. He can have the same quality matches with somebody that Dolph can, that CM Punk can. You know, imagine the Dolph Ziggler and Cody Rhodes feud. Even though they're both heels, I mean, just the thought of the two of them working in the ring together, that would be incredible. So Cody really needs to be put in a better position, in my opinion. And that should probably wrap up the pay-per-view. They'll probably throw in maybe a Brodus squash or maybe even Lord Tensai in there somewhere, but that's going to be the pay-per-view. Honestly, there's going to be two incredible matches, the World Heavyweight Championship match and the WWE title match. It's probably going to be a pretty good pay-per-view. And you know what? That's it for now. That's going to do it for the inaugural episode. Thank you guys for listening. Please leave your feedback. Don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube and on iTunes. I'm going to have these in both places. Website's going to be coming soon, Twitter, everything. So I'm really excited about the future. I'm glad you guys listened. Leave your feedback. Let's get in touch. Let's talk about wrestling. And I just hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys come back for more. So for now, I am the Dank. This has been the PipeBomb Pro Wrestling Podcast. And I'll see you next time.